You wanna tell us about coaching?
I sure do. So we had a big long discussion on our Discord about this, mostly stemming from one of our listeners saying, "Hey, does anyone know where I can get coaching?" And another listener responding, not in like a malicious way or anything. "Hey, I know this guy. He coaches. His rate's $150 an hour, but I recommend his like understudy who charges $120 an hour," which, once again, like, nothing wrong with like that guy suggesting that. That's what he knows. But I do want to have a small discussion about coaching prices, what you can gain from coaching. We offer coaching and what ours means and how everything about that. So it will be me rambling for a little bit, but then we can have like a little bit of discussion after. I just wanted to like clear up some things. I don't want to have anyone get, as I said a bunch in that conversation on Discord, robbed. So the main coaching, your purpose of coaching is to improve. Obviously, no one gets coaching just for the sake of just, hey, I'm gonna fucking get coached for no reason, right? People want to improve in League. It is a competitive game that people take seriously at all levels of play. That being said, I do think a lot of people go to coaching before they start looking at their own self-analysis. I think that one of the best things you can do is understand your own mistakes before asking someone else, right? Like when I'm playing, I go, oh, I shouldn't stay for this wave because their jungler could be here and I could die for it. That being said, I'm going to stay for this wave because if I get to push it and I get to reset the wave and it will bounce here. And I understand where my mistake could be if I was going to make it, right? Or when you die, what could I have done to stop myself from dying here, right? Did I push up too far? Did I overextend without abilities? Did I have vision? All these things. Self-analysis is really core to improving. No pro player got to that point without self-reflection in some way. And of course, it's fucking hard to self-reflect. It's hard to lose a game and go, I was an issue, or even a game where you did well and you lost, I could have improved here, or a game where you won, we won, but I could have done this better, right? Those are all hard things to analyze yourself. That being said, I think this is something that coaching is something that if you were a high ELO player, I completely understand paying for coaching. If you want to become a pro, go to academy, whatever, you're a high diamond player pushing for master, a master player pushing for challenger, paying a good person for coaching makes sense to me. If you were a lower ELO player, I'm not saying that you shouldn't get coaching. I'm just saying that spending $150, $120 an hour for coaching is not the best use of your resources. I'm not saying you won't improve. I'm not saying these people aren't good coaches. But when you're paying that amount of money, you're paying for their time rather than the actual content. Someone that I really respect is LS. LS used to coach. If LS wanted to coach right now, he would probably, this is a little bit out of my ass, but I think he would charge in the realm of $400 an hour, $300, $400 an hour. Why? One, he's fucking good. He has professional experience. Two, it's not worth his time to charge anything less. If he charged anything less, it's not worth his time compared to doing co-streams, creating content for T1, creating content on his Twitch or YouTube channel. It's just not worth it. That's why we see, like, for example, the person on our Discord recommended a big YouTuber who does coaching. That's why that guy charges $150 for his coaching. It doesn't mean that his coaching isn't worth that. It doesn't mean that he doesn't provide good content. That's not why I'm saying don't buy that coaching. I'm just saying that you could get similar levels of coaching for a much lower price because it's a lower price is worth that person's time, I guess. Go ahead.
I stepped away for a moment, but I also think you probably touched on a little bit, like the level that you're at versus the coaching that you're purchasing is a huge difference. And I think like jumping to a traditional sports metaphor is like a really easy way to do it, where it's like, if I'm just learning how to play a sport, like, right, if I'm like silver in League or like I'm just getting like to learn how to play baseball, like paying fucking Nolan Ryan, $800 an hour to teach me how to properly grip the baseball and throw it. Like, I could watch a YouTube video of the basic fundamentals and get that exact same information for free.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm like a minor league pitcher and I'm trying to go pro, yes, like I can't get that information from anyone else. I need somebody at that level to like tell me, hey, you're stepping forward 2 inches too far, and the angle of your elbow on your curveball is a little off, and I can tell in your motion which pitch you're throwing before you throw it. So like I can tell it's going to be a changeup because you change your motion. Like that's the kind of stuff that a really good pitching coach would be able to tell you. But if you're just like, hey, what's the difference between a 2-seam and a 4-seam and like a split finger fastball? Like you can watch a YouTube video or Google that and you'll get those answers.
Yeah. So moving on from that, I guess I want to go through the steps of if you want to get coached, here's what you should go. Or if you want to get better at League, here's the steps that you should go through before you go to coaching, right? If you are a low elo player, start by watching your own games. If you're a high elo player, start by watching your own games. I think if you're higher elo, you're probably more likely to have already done this at some point or been a little bit more analytical about your own play. But watch a VOD that you do poorly, watch VOD where you do bad, and try to point out any mistakes. Writing stuff down is always important. There used to be tons of pro players that on stream would have a list of shit that if they fucked up, they would write it on a notepad, and that would be on their notepad on their other monitor for the day. Like, I pushed up on this wave and the jungler fucking cheese ganked me. I'm not going to do that again. Just making notes of stuff like that is so fucking important to understanding where your mistakes are and making sure you don't make them again. That being said, your next step is, hey, if you got a friend, get them to watch one of your games. It can be live, it can be a VOD. Get your friend to point out things that maybe you don't see, right? That's a super free way to have another set of eyes on your own game. After that, look at YouTube and Twitch content. There is tons of matchup guides for every single character. League of Legends isn't some niche game. You can find a matchup guide for fucking Heimerdinger. There is some Heimerdinger one trick out there who probably has made a video on like a guide for Heimerdinger matchups, whatever you need. There's tons of one tricks in League of Legends. You won't be left alone. If it's just top lane, there's tons of people who are professional top laners that make great content. Wicked, I think, puts out some of the best top lane focused content on YouTube. He was the old top laner for CLG EU. He's really, really good at the game. He still creates great content. After that, if you are still looking for coaching after all that, you think you've improved at the most that you can without a personalized experience, then start by looking at cheaper options before you jump to higher options, I guess. My first bet would be go to the r/League coaching subreddit. This subreddit is kind of abandoned. It is kind of a shit show with a lot of people posting about boosting services and shit like that. That being said, there's lots of fucking gems on here. Like right now, there's a post from 9 minutes ago from a Diamond 2 top laner offering affordable coaching. He probably is going to be charging like $10 an hour for coaching. There was a post earlier today, from a special grandmaster coach specializing in jungle, AD carry, and support. Like these people are the type of people that will be charging sub $20 an hour for coaching, mostly because they aren't affiliated with bigger websites that charge more money, and they're trying to get their foot in the door for coaching. These are the type of players that once they start their coaching career, they're going to be charging way more. One more example, just before I get off this League coaching subreddit: Master Tier mid/top laner coaching for €7 an hour. Like shit like that is like resources where they might not have the coaching experience like to really help you out, but you are just looking for a better player to help you out in any way. And for this price, it's almost hard not to at least send them a DM and see what their like credentials are. They're all good players. I would really recommend it. That being said, after that, I do have some coaching websites that I would recommend before going to like before I recommend you hiring like $150 an hour coach. Gamer Sensei used to be my go-to coaching website. They've completely redesigned the website. I'm not sure how much I want to put faith in it, but they were a really, really reputable site that a lot of pro players would coach on, as well as a lot of vetted newer players. That is a site that I would recommend. BetterGamer.com is another really good site. Tons of people have reviews on this site. Reviews are really important when looking at coaches. If tons of people go, yeah, this guy was awesome, he showed up, he taught me this stuff, I feel happy with the money I spent, great. That is a good place to start. And then one that I was less sure of, but I think it's fine if you're starting out to trying to get into coaching, look at Fiverr. Yeah, Fiverr, the website where you see people make fucking cringe shit on YouTube, like paying a bunch of people to design, like whatever. Just Google League of Legends coaching on Fiverr, and there is a ton of coaches who are charging like sub $15 an hour, who are like challenger high diamond coaches, and they have reviews of people who are satisfied customers. I know it's not the like, maybe it seems like the best site, but like, as long as you have verified reviews for stuff like this and people are satisfied, you are in good hands, I think. That's where I would start at least. Once again, we are also saying this from the perspective of the fact that we offer coaching. We offer replay reviews and we offer coaching. Our replay reviews are $20 through our Patreon, and our reviews, our live coaching is $50 per hour. I do think, not that we're like an LS type or we're a pro player type or we're a huge content creator, but the reality is we're not fucking experts, right? I have 2 D2 accounts. Colton usually is a diamond player. Nick is a diamond player. None of us are challenger players. We are probably charging more than what we would normally give at our level of play. That being said, we are charging based on our time. We're charging based on our time rather than on our knowledge. I think that we are all knowledgeable people, and we're reputable in the fact that you probably are listening to our podcast if you're coming to us for coaching, so you at least feel comfortable talking to us about stuff. You think that we're knowledgeable enough in League of Legends, but you could find cheaper coaching elsewhere. And I do think that is a very important thing to note. We're not trying to fucking like shill our coaching. I think we're all good enough coaches to help out our listeners. But if you are just looking for cheap coaching, there are tons of resources out there, and just please do not get robbed paying over like $100 an hour for coaching. Fucking Biofrost does coaching on a website for $50 an hour. Like,
That's crazy.
yeah, it's like just make sure that you're not getting robbed. That's all I care about. I just don't want to see our listeners like be paying for something that they're not going to make the most use out of. And hopefully that helps.
Definitely. Yeah. I think that, again, yeah, it's something where nothing against that person, and they're charging, I think, a fair price for their service. And I think that pricing your own service for something you're comfortable with is something that any person should be able to do, where it's like, if you're an artist, if you're a coach, if you're whatever, if you value your time at that, that's how much it's worth. And it's whether or not somebody also values it that much to pay that. And again, like, for the vast majority of players, you don't need the $150 an hour coach to tell you, like, hey, don't build, steel caps against Falcons.
Yeah. Cool.
Nice.